We are starting with the audio test. This is Honor 400 versus Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. This is the real, unbiased, and genuine camera comparison video of these two phones. After that A56 video versus Honor 400, I think people would like to see S24 FE versus Honor 400. We got a triple camera setup on the fan edition, and we got dual camera system on Honor 400 with a 200 megapixel main sensor. I think that's it for a quick audio test. Let the battle begin. On 1x, which is the widest portrait mode, you got the creamier background blur on the mid-range Honor 400. And looking at the quality of the portraits, we got stronger contrast and colors on Honor 400 compared to a softer and natural-looking S24 FE. But on some shots, I feel like S24 FE is a bit soft. Looking at my wife's face, you got really good sharpness and contrast on Honor 400. On 2x, you got a wider field of view on Galaxy S24 FE, but again, if you look at the background blur, you got beefier Samsung phone and you got the creamier blur on Honor 400. Additionally, checking on the sharpness and contrast, you get more defined, sharper, and more detailed look on Honor 400. It is brighter but soft on S24 FE. On 3x, I like the white balance and tint on S24 FE. It looks natural and warmer. But in terms of details and sharpness, again, Honor 400 wins this category. I think Samsung is leaning towards more of softer and warmer look. I still feel that the Honor 400 implementation is better. We got 3 focal lengths on S24 FE, 24 to 85mm, and we got 4 focal lengths on Honor 400 with that extra 35mm. On the selfie shooter, I like Honor 400 better. You got sharper images, stronger contrast, and more details. The color is also accurate looking at my jacket. This is what it's all about. Make your way to the dance floor. Bodies move to the best now. Now we're checking the video quality and vlogging test of S24 FE versus Honor 400, the Samsung Fan Edition versus the newest Honor mid-range. So this is 4K 30 FPS using the selfie camera. We can also shoot 60 FPS on S24 FE. In terms of video quality, I like the contrast on Honor 400 looking at my shirt. And in terms of details, both phones are very detailed looking at my face. 50 megapixel sensor on Honor 400 versus 12 megapixel sensor. A little bit overexposed on S24 FE. I'm not sure if that's your kind of tea on the video recording, but I like the more defined and stronger look on Honor 400. We can also shoot 0.8x on Honor 400, so you can fit more in the frame. That's really nice. I think that's it for the selfie video recording. Now we're vlogging using the ultra-wide lens in 4K 30 FPS. We can now shoot 60 FPS on Galaxy S24 FE. So you have 0.6x on the Fan Edition, while we only have 0.7x on Honor 400. So that's a win in terms of the ultra-wide for S24 FE. This is a sit-down talking head video for both phones. So you can see what you would look like vlogging on both phones using the ultra-wide. Alright, we're checking the best sensors for both phones. The main sensor. So we have a whopping 200 megapixel sensor, 1/1.4-inch sensor on Honor 400 versus the 50 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S24 FE, 1/1.56-inch. Both of these phones were updated to the latest OS, so we have One UI 7 on S24 FE and Magic OS 9 on Honor 400. I think that's it for the main sensor. And lastly, we're testing in the zoom capabilities of both phones. We have a 3x optical zoom on Galaxy S24 FE, 8 megapixel. And we're just cropping in on a 200 megapixel main sensor of Honor 400. I think that's it for our video quality / vlogging test. Now let's check the image quality. On the ultra-wide, you will see there's more details on Honor 400 looking at the rocks. It's soft on Galaxy S24 FE. We have a wider field of view on S24 FE, but if you look on the apples, it is sharper on Honor 400. Looking at the colors, I think you got the more color-accurate S24 FE looking at the grass. It's a little bit stronger on Honor 400. Now, testing the main sensor, both phones are really nice. You got an HDR looking S24 FE. The colors are blending, but I like that we see more colors on Honor 400. I like the details though on Galaxy S24 FE on this shot. You see more surface details on the flowers. In terms of white balance, you got a warmer look on Honor 400 looking at the road and the sky, while it's natural looking on S24 FE. On 3x, we're just cropping in on Honor 400, but you have more details and sharper compared to the dedicated 8 megapixel sensor of Galaxy S24 FE. On 30x, which is the farthest zoom, we got more details on S24 FE again because of the dedicated 8 megapixel sensor. Let's start with the outdoor test. This is the multi-video recording on Honor 400 versus dual rec or dual video recording on S24 FE. This phone is reserved for the flagship Samsung phones, but on Honor 400 we got this mode on video recording. Now moving on to the outdoor shot, this is selfie video recording 4K 30 FPS. We got two focal length on Honor 400 compared to Galaxy S24 FE. You got stronger contrast on Honor 400 and you got better exposed shirt or jacket on Galaxy S24 FE. Looking at the colors, you got closer in real life on Honor 400 color accurate compared to the more vivid S24 FE. Looking at the sky, you can see the contrast on S24 FE. Let's check the autofocus. And let's check video stabilization. Alright, let's check the rear cameras. Now this is the rear cameras on both phones. So we have 0.6x wider on S24 FE and 0.7x on Honor 400. In terms of colors, again, natural looking on Honor 400. Also softer looking Honor 400 compared to a more contrasty and over sharpened S24 FE. Alright, now let's check the autofocus. You can see over sharpening on S24 FE compared to Honor 400. This is ultra wide vlogging outdoors. This is what it looks like. Let's check the video stabilization. Alright, checking the main sensor. 1x on both phones. So you got, again, more vivid colors on S24 FE compared to the color accurate Honor 400. Look at the sky and the clouds. Let's check the autofocus. You got more details on the floors on S24 FE compared to Honor 400. Let's check the video stabilization. We also have 3x on S24 FE, which is nice. We're only cropping in on Honor 400. This is the lossless crop. You can see the artifacts on Honor 400 and you got more details on Galaxy S24 FE. And going for the farthest zoom, we got 10x on Honor 400 and 12x on Galaxy S24 FE. Better details on F24 FE. Switching back to the ultra wide, which phone do you think is better? Checking the ultra wide night shots, you will see that there's more details and brighter on Honor 400. Looking at the grass and the sky, the colors are natural looking on Honor 400, but you got saturated look on S24 FE. You make it look easy. On pitch black condition, Honor 400 colors is a bit off compared to the better looking S24 FE. Looking at the main sensor, we got more detail, stronger contrast, and darker on Honor 400. S24 FE is softer and brighter. I like Honor 400 better. Again, on pitch black condition, Galaxy S24 FE wins this category. Now outdoors with enough light on 3x, the quality of both phones are really good. We might have a slightly better detailed Honor 400.
Now let me show you something that'll blow your mind.
But again, on pitch black condition or darker situation, you have more details on S24 FE.
I like where this is going.
Alright, now we're checking the low light video of both phones. This is selfie video recording, 4K 30 FPS. We can shoot 60 FPS on S24 Fan Edition, only 30 FPS on the mid-range Honor 400. In terms of video quality, we got a brighter and better exposed Galaxy S24 FE, and we have a more contrasty and smoother face on Honor 400. In terms of details, both phones are still very detailed in low light video selfie. We can also shoot 0.8x on Honor 400. I think that's the same video quality as 1x. I think that's it for the selfie video recording. Now let's check the rear cameras. Now we're testing the rear cameras of both phones on the ultra-wide 4K 30 FPS. Again, we can shoot 60 FPS on Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. In terms of video quality, we got a brighter neutral tone on S24 FE. I think we also have better details on the ultra-wide for the S24 FE. And we got a more contrasty, stronger look on Honor 400. Which phone do you think is better in terms of the ultra-wide? Now let's check the main sensor. Now, this is the main sensor of both phones, 4K 30 FPS. We can also shoot 8K 30 FPS on S24 FE, but for the sake of apple-to-apple comparison, we're just doing 4K 30 FPS on both phones. We got a larger sensor on Honor 400, 1/1.4-inch sensor, compared to 1/1.56-inch on Galaxy S24 FE. We got a brighter and better exposed video on Honor 400 versus natural looking on S24 FE. I think that's it for the main sensor test. Now let's check the zoom. Now we're testing the zoom capabilities of both phones. So we have an optical zoom on S24 FE 8 megapixel versus cropping in on that 200 megapixel sensor on Honor 400. In terms of details, you got a noisier but better details on Honor 400. Which phone will you choose on the zoom test? Galaxy S24 FE or Honor 400? Leave your comment down below. Now let's check the video resolution. And lastly, we have the video resolution test starting with Honor 400 is in 4K 30 FPS. And this is Samsung Galaxy S24 FE in 8K 30 FPS video recording, twice the size. On Honor 400, is it worth it to buy Galaxy S24 FE or Honor 400 is good enough? Leave your comment down below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.